Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my Week 12 previews and analysis. This video is for the game between the Detroit Lions and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This game will take place in Detroit, who sits at 6-4 on top of the NFC North via a tiebreaker with Chicago, who also sits at 6-4 in that division, and Tampa Bay 2-8, having won their last two straight at home over Miami and Atlanta. And Tampa Bay, look, I thought Schiano had lost this team. I don't know if it's a case where these guys are playing harder for themselves or for Schiano, but whatever's the case, you've noticed an improvement in the effort and in the execution of Tampa Bay in the last 2 weeks. Mike Glennon is one of those rare young rookie quarterbacks who, as far as I can see, hasn't really had one of those clunker type of games yet. And I think it's been important they've gotten the running game going behind him, whether it be Mike James before he got hurt, Bobby Rainey certainly last week. The running game has been a factor, and big plays have been a factor down the field to the Vincent Jacksons of the world in particular. Jackson has really taken off since Mike Glennon has been named the starter. Look for that to be a problem for Detroit. Detroit, last week we saw having trouble with Antonio Brown. Their secondary tends to be a little bit leaky if they're not getting help from that front four rushing the passer. This doesn't make Detroit different than a lot of other secondaries out there, but that's why I think this defensive line of Detroit and how they play is going to have the biggest impact in this game. I think a lot of games, defensively or as a whole, come down to this Detroit defensive line either showing up or not showing up like they did last week, where they only had one sack of Roethlisberger against an offensive line that I think they could have took advantage of. So how does Detroit match up in the running game versus Tampa, who's been good running the football here this season? And how do they get after Mike Glennon? Keys in this game, because I think if they give Glennon time, he can exploit this Detroit secondary deep. As far as Detroit's offense, the matchup between Calvin Johnson and Darrelle Revis should be a good one. Look for this to be the game where Revis is in more of his conventional role, one-on-one against a stud receiver on the other team. Don't look initially for them to give him a lot of help. We'll see how that matchup sort of unfolds here. But if Calvin Johnson is held down a little bit, who steps up opposite him? Those are really the two big questions for the Lions every game for me, are how does the defensive line play? And if Calvin Johnson doesn't go out of his mind, who steps up opposite him? And do we get a better performance out of Reggie Bush this week? That remains to be seen. The receivers, obviously, opposite Calvin Johnson and Brandon Pettigrew at the tight end position. How do they play? I expect those guys to play better at home. The athletic linebackers of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their matchup with Reggie Bush is, again, an intriguing one to me as well. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now are playing the best they have all season. I'm not too down on Detroit after their loss to Pittsburgh. I know their offense sputtered there in the second half, but they're now going to return home where their offense is much better and where I think their defensive line is much better as well. I think their play will improve. I don't foresee Bobby Rainey, going off for 160 yards this week like he did last week versus the Falcons. So I think Tampa keeps this game closer than people think. I like Detroit to win this game and move to 7-4. So I like Tampa plus 9.5, but for Detroit to win this game outright. Because, again, you saw Mike Glennon go up to Seattle and not really look frazzled and play pretty well. So I don't think the road environment is going to intimidate him. So that's why I think this game will be closer than people think. Tampa plus 9.5, but Detroit to win the game. Guys, let me know what you think. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. Hit me up on Twitter at SNewsAnalysis. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I preview and recap every game every week, and I'm always talking the news of the day in the NFL. Thanks again, guys. Have a great night.